Yellowstone.
Yes. Good evening, everyone. I'd like to call to order the City Council work session for October the 3rd. It's now 7 p.m. We have a few items on the agenda tonight. We have a few of the mayor is absent this evening, so I'll be sitting in on his behalf. Wish him well wherever he's at and whatever he's doing. We'll leave that be. But I'll go ahead and turn the agenda over to Mr. Freeborn for the first agenda item.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem. We have a presentation for you tonight regarding our new digital city code. We're very excited about this and opportunities it's going to afford us and the search features that this particular software package has. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to City Clerk Ms. Hill.
Thank you, sir. Good evening, everyone. We have, as Mr. Freeborn said, switched over to a new platform for hosting our city code. It has a number of features available through either, there's a constituent option, which is going to be just your basic version that is going to be displayed. You won't have to log in. Very easy to use. So we'll go through some of those features that everyone will have access to. There is an extensive table of contents that goes through the entire code, chapter by chapter. And they kind of keep up with each other on the screen as you scroll down, sometimes. But you can pin it on the side just like a lot of tables do. It also has a list of all the chapters. One by one, you can either click on it, or if you check mark it, you can search just in that chapter. You can select multiple. If you select the name, it'll open that part of code. There is an option if we pass any ordinances that do change city code. We don't codify them all at the same time. We wait, do it a couple times a year. It will save these ordinances under new laws so that they are still available to search, and it will search everything on the website when you do want to look for something. But we'll have all of these ordinances on here until they are codified. Once they are incorporated into code, they will be removed from this new law section. There is an index. Sorry, this mouse is trying to talk to the computer on the other side of the room. There's an index that'll give you just about any keyword you can imagine that could be in code, if you didn't know what you wanted to search for. We have the option to put notes by anywhere in here that we wish.
Kind of gives you an outline, and you kind of want to pay attention to the middle column, which is what we will all and the council will all have access to.
But we have the option to make links, notes, shortcuts in code. So under our mayor and council chapter, we've got a link to the website. We can link it to applications for business license, liquor licenses, really anything we want. The notes can also be, there's public, you can make private notes once you're in a logged in section of the website. So if you have notes on a section that you have questions about, you can always make them there and they'll be there. You can make them either just for your use, or you can make them for anybody who has a login if you want to have discussions about, should we do this, should we do that. Another feature that we did not have in the other host is this public document section. It's going to replace another software that we have that's very cumbersome and very hard to navigate. This one is all right here. Public documents will have all of our ordinances, resolutions, minutes, agendas, and we'll have to load it. So it's going to take some time for this to be fully populated with everything we have that's a permanent record. But all the new stuff is going to be on here. That will replace Image Silo, which is linked on the website, which I'm very excited about. And then when you log in, it's going to give you a little bit more in-depth features. If I can log in. Maybe. There we go.
While Ms. Hill is trying to log in, just for council's purposes, you do have that option to create private and group notes. Recall when you make group texting, group emails, you're going to be creating public document there, so cautiously proceed on any of that.
Mr. Zur said nervously.
And that was my question as well. What would be as a council, when will we ever utilize that function to comment on anything as a group?
For purposes of making your own private notes, absolutely acceptable to do that anywhere you'd want to for your personal access. If you're going to be having questions about particular portions of code that you want to bring up as a group conversation, more appropriate for work session opportunities.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so then once you're logged in, you have more advanced search features. It'll operate as all search engines do. You can choose here how to narrow down a search instead of filtering through them once you have all the results. You also have the option to search across multiple codes throughout the country that this company hosts. You can choose your state, you can choose what type of government you would like to search. There's city, county, and I believe there are some state governments in there. So if you want to see what other cities are doing, if they're on this list, we can compare them all. And there is an option to compare all Missouri cities.
You also having resolutions included within this too that are searchable?
Yes, ours will be. And there's an option to view archives. We don't have an archive yet with this site. And I'm stuck. I can't get anywhere. There it goes. Archives will be on this left-hand column. And this is where you can make your notes. Will be in once you're logged in. You'll have the option to add a note and choose your visibility down at the bottom of the screen. There's some set up now that goes to business licenses, liquor licenses, to the mayor and council webpage. Can be very useful. We have a dashboard on here that will show us, it'll show us how many people have visited the webpage, what they're searching for. There it is. You can narrow it down by day, month. I haven't seen anything on hourly. It shows 0. So far, we've had people search for the UDC.
But the only people who've been searching has been internally.
Yes.
So we suspect that once this goes live, and it will go live tomorrow, it'll be the same access point on the web page as you do now. It is under the government tab, and then mayor and council, and then charter and code. Charter and code's actually listed separately even.
I'll send out a link also in the morning before I make it live. I'll send everybody. This is basically this new website in a nutshell. I would move quicker through it, but I can't. Yeah, it'll go live tomorrow, and we're very excited.
When Ms. Hill brought up the image silo component of this, the search features that this site will have for you all and for the citizens even to go to items is coming from the 19th century into the 21st century. Image silo was awful to use. It was very cumbersome. This will be a much more dynamic search feature and across many more platforms as far as being able to bring up an ordinance that's associated with a section of code. Going to be invaluable to staff. We hope the citizens are going to really enjoy the simplicity of it. And again, council will have the exact same permissions that all of staff does with this, with the exception of Ms. Hill, who will have, obviously, the third column administrative rights. And we'd be happy to answer any questions if you have them. But we just wanted to give you the overview before it goes live tomorrow.
I did have one. Will we be getting the username and passwords for these?
I will send, it'll send a link to your email once I enter the email address in for the users.
Okay.
And you'll be able to set your own password and such.
Excellent. Thank you. Any questions, staff? Mr. Holman?
So this deals pretty much exclusively with code. I know about a year or two ago, we put our police department policies online, which was a much heralded and heavily applauded effort. It wouldn't probably go in here, but is that just going to remain its own separate database that someone can search, or will there be a link to this?
It doesn't fit into this format, but what does fit into this format, which is also going to be invaluable to everybody and is actually more searched, immediately after this is done, we are going to be putting the UDC on here, which is technically chapter 400 of code, but it has never been included, and the UDC has always been updated within just a PDF document. It's only searchable to the limits that PDF does that. They are actually going to be putting it online, so all of it will be here at the exact same time.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Yes.
This isn't really a question, but just something that I remembered while we were looking at this in the website. I had someone call me a little while back and said that it's difficult to reach council members because on the council members page of the website, it just has our 7-digit phone number and not the 816 that you have to dial ahead of it now. Is there a way we could add that 816 to our phone numbers on the website?
Yep.
Just kind of a random thing that popped.
Any other questions? Excellent. Thank you, Ms. Hill. Mr. Freeborn?
Thank you. Second item on the agenda tonight is the last work session opportunity before the public hearing on the budget for the council to make any comments or ask staff any questions, any additions or deletions that you all would like to see. What we have here now is, you'll remember at the last work session, I did ask the council relative to the infrastructure plan and the Rec Park Trail plan, and so you see those added. Bottom line on that is, when I presented the proposed budget, the available fund balance in the general fund after the 20% restricted reserve was $3,283,553. With those two additions that the council has given the tentative thumbs up to, available fund balance now is $2,253,553. One of the items that I did talk with staff about and that we await information on relative to that remaining available fund balance is we have a number of outstanding inquiries concerning some basics associated with the firing range and getting the, now that we own it, getting the firing range secured. That includes electrical and fencing. Kind of see those as a baseline that the landlord should be responsible for. Trying to get information. We actually have a bid out now because we received some differing opinions of what the fencing would cost. So we put out a bid just to get a price tacked down on that. And then we've circumvented actually going to Evergy to get information on bringing electrical to it, and have approached who we know they're actually going to use, and that's Black & McDonald. Black & McDonald is now getting the quotes for us that would be associated with bringing electrical to the firing range, the two baseline items that we feel are going to be necessary as we continue to have folks wanting to use that range. That concludes staff report on this item, sir.
Any questions, comments? Seeing none, move on to the next agenda item.
Very good, sir.
Moving at a quick pace tonight.
So, as we had indicated on the agenda, and as the mayor had indicated, he does have recommended appointments to boards and commissions. It is a single board. It is the Parks and Recreation Board. And so the mayor has asked me to hand these out on his behalf. And if you have, as he always does, if you have any questions or concerns relative to the list that is here, by all means, give him a call and have that discussion with him. Unless he informs me otherwise, these will be on the agenda, the consent agenda on Monday night. You will note there is one new individual. The rest are reappointments. And even with the reappointment in Ward 1, we still have a vacant seat, but no volunteer applications for that particular position. Ward 1.
Still a vacancy?
Yes, even if that reappointment is made, there will still be a vacancy.
Okay, for the parks.
Yes.
I'll have a name to you.
Thank you, sir.
Any questions or comments on item C? Seeing none, that moves into the other part of the agenda. Is there any items for this particular area? Seeing none, that's a record. I hope, maybe not. Yes, we do. That means we're moving into any, yes, Mr. Fremont.
Yes, we do still have reason for executive session. If the council is all right with it, I will have Mr. Murdoch simply turn everything off and then signal me, and we can stay right here.
That's even better, but I need to,
And we
Get a
need to
motion.
have motion, second, and roll call, sir.
so I'll entertain a motion to move into executive session pursuant to discuss real estate acquisition matters as authorized by Revised Missouri Statute 610.2021, subsection 2.
Mr. Mayor Pro Tem,
Yes, Mr. Holman.
I move that we move into executive session now to discuss real estate acquisition matters as authorized by the revised statute, State of Missouri, 610.021, subsection 2.
Is there a second?
I'll second the motion.
There's a motion and a second to go into executive session. Roll call vote at this time, please.
Councilmember Barber,
Yes.
Councilmember Holman,
Yes.
Councilmember Townsend,
Yes,
Councilmember Burke,
Yes.
Councilmember Abdelgawad,
Yes.
Councilmember Wills.
Yes.
Thank you.
thank you. We are now adjourned into executive session.